Hi, Ivana. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Joe. Lovely to see you. I'm so excited we're recording this video.
So the Three Lakes Cultural Trust 2 weeks ago produced a workshop. It was a series of 3, and the workshop was around creating your own real-time online workshops. We had 30 participants in our workshops, and Ivana did a wonderful job of producing those workshops online in the same forum that we're here today, to be able to give our participants tools so that they too could create their online workshops at the end of these workshops. The idea originated from where we have found ourselves faced with the COVID-19 crisis, is that we now know that we are not going to be able to do as much of that face-to-face and one-on-one learning or group learning that we have been able to do. So we wanted to find a way of for the creative community to be able to pivot their practices so that they could put them online. What we're doing today is that we had wonderful feedback. And so what we're going to do today is Eva and I are going to put together a collaboration of the questions and the content in a shorter video today so that we can share it with the rest of the community and hopefully stimulate you with some ideas that you can come up with. So I'm now going to hand it over to the wonderful Ivana from Big Hearted Leaders. Even the feedback, wasn't it just magnificent? And I think we've already seen some of our participants actually put some of their ideas are now on paper and are already starting to do their own recording. So let's work through how they got to that point.
Yes, Joe. I think it's amazing that they're already producing the content. And what I really got drawn to is just their passion and their desire to share their creative talent with the community. And isn't that just wonderful, really? And yes, and Joe, as you know, I work as a leadership coach, and I've actually been doing the interactive group coaching and also workshops online for more than 4 years. So with the whole COVID-19 situation that came upon us, it was also interesting for my clients to hear, thank you for teaching us Zoom even before we all needed to work through that, and how to be relaxed and how to express ourselves over the screen. And this is actually the first time that I'm so grateful that you actually asked me to do this for our community here, especially for the creatives. And this is for the first time that I'm actually doing this kind of workshop. Because usually my workshops are more around leadership themes and how to develop yourself, how to get better at leading yourself, your team, and your organization. At the same time, what this really is about, and where the drive was for me, is this is about all the creatives leading themselves and their communities towards sharing, towards connecting on screen, and showing that talent and helping others discover talent. And that's what it was amazing just to see from everyone as we move through the 3 workshops.
And the creative ideas that they had of what they would like to be able to share with the rest of their communities. And I know this is one of the tools that we're going to talk through, was about, one of their reservations was, how do we express ourselves online, and how can we have that same level of interaction, which we're going to talk about a little bit further into our session today. But it's changing times, and it's being able to adapt, to the new way. And this is what was really important for us at the Trust, is to be able to, reach out to our creative community to give them these tools. So
yes, and what a wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you. That's much appreciated. We love it. It's wonderful. It's heartwarming, to be perfectly honest with you, because you feel like you're able to help our wonderful community who's out there, who are perfectly capable of helping themselves, but we're just giving them a little extra push.
Yes. Joe, yes, you're absolutely right. They were wondering, how do I share that energy and how to share what I want to do through the screen? But even more so, what they were wondering is there even a space for me? Because it just feels, whenever we want to share a talent, and it doesn't matter what it is, it feels like everybody's doing it. And if you remember, that was the first question, and that's maybe a limited belief that I want to talk about. So let's say if we want to do a drawing workshop, or if you want to do a singing workshop, or learning how to play a piano workshop, everybody thinks, but everybody's doing the piano lessons, but everybody's doing drawing lessons, which is actually not true. I know that for sure I'm not doing it, and I know you are not doing it. And that is that little, right? And that is that little thing where we just kind of go, but it's everywhere. Is there even a space for me here? And if you remember what we were talking about, is of course there is a space for you, because there is only one you. The way you are going to teach somebody how to play the piano, or the way how you're going to show someone how to get joy from creating a piece of art, is how you're going to do it. And I truly, truly believe that everybody can find the audience, as long as they're courageous enough and authentic enough to show that uniqueness to the world. I know from my own experience and from the experience of many, many people that I work with, that the world responds.
Yeah.
So maybe this is my first message to everybody who's been through the course with us. So just as a reminder, but also for everybody, or for anybody who is thinking, oh, I really want to do this, but there's so many people that are doing it better than me. Put that on a shelf and just imagine for a moment, what would you do and how would you do it if nobody else was doing it? And then get that courage and just move forward.
That is absolutely magnificent, and it really was one of the and I love how you just framed that. Then that was really important, is to imagine that nobody else is already out there doing this. This is the first time anybody is going to see this piece of work that you're going to share online, and those keywords, courage, and you've got the passion. And also think about your recipients, because when you give the courage, they're going to receive the joy.
Yeah, that's true. And you remember also we were talking about how usually when we look at somebody else doing it, it looks amazing, right? You think, oh, they're so experienced, or they're so wise, or they're using the screen so well, or they're such great presenters. And they were also at the beginning at one point. And
Exactly.
and one point that I made during the course, and I want to remind everybody again here, is when you start, you're not going to be the best, right? But if you start now, in a year's time, you're going to be really, really good. Exactly. However, if you don't start now, and then you decide to start in a year's time, it's then when you're not going to be that great and you're going to be starting. So always when we start with something, it's not amazing, but it is, trust me, it's good enough. And people see your enthusiasm, and people see your passion, and people see your talent, that they're not looking for the mistakes that you're doing. And at the end of the day, they have no idea what you're planning to do. So even if you forget something, they will not know. So I would say, get that courage, enjoy the ride, get out there, because people are waiting to see you. People are waiting to learn something from you. So I think that's the first message, to everybody who is thinking about producing something and putting something online and getting the audience and the participants to join.
Absolutely. Get the courage, get it down, and get started. That's their first message, isn't it? Awesome.
There are certain things you need to do before and after your interactive workshop. So I'm just kind of thinking maybe it might be a good idea to talk a bit about what to do, how to prepare yourself before you kind of click that start meeting, start workshop, and also what to do after you click leave meeting, end the meeting.
I think that would be great, because we know that each of our participants in this part of the workshop found this really valuable. So we've got our content, we've come up with our idea. And as you say, now we're going to learn a little bit about what is the next phase.
Yes, yes. So when just what I call it, just before you start your workshop,
yeah.
or in before you start that interface, and you click in and start sharing with people.
You're live.
Yeah, go live.
Show's gone
Before
live.
you go live,
Before you go live.
things to take into the consideration: managing the content, managing the context, and managing yourself. So in terms of managing the content, I would like to believe that, half an hour before you're starting, you already know what's your content for that particular workshop, right? So I would say make sure, if you're using share screen, which Zoom allows you, prepare that presentation. Make sure that you have all the slides. Also, if you're using any props, have it around you within your reach so you can enhance the content that you are talking about. Yeah. Right. So just maybe you want to have just the outline. What are the 5 things you're going to talk about? When are you going to introduce the exercise? I still have a sheet of paper that is just next to my computer when I do the workshop. Sometimes I need it, sometimes I don't. But just having that, I just know that I'm going to be on point with the content. Yeah. In terms of the second one is the context. The context is, what's around you? What can you see? What are they going to see in the screen? So just so you know, this is not by chance. That's what you see around me. Yeah. Because I do this a lot. There is a reason why there are books here, while there are photos from my around the world trip, while these plants are usually in this room. But I just want to make sure that the screen looks nice. Yeah. So the context is welcoming and represents who I am. Good. Right? So think about that. What is going to be visible? If there is something messy, if there is a bright color, it's not going to look good on the screen. And I'm not saying that everybody will notice, but people are not going to be focused on you and the content if the context is also not working. The other thing is the light. Yes. Just last night, I had one workshop, international one, with people connecting through different time zones. And what I made sure is that I have a light on that is showing my face. Not because my face needs to look lovely. It's just because I want people to see me and to see my expressions and to see what I'm explaining. So just also, it would be beautiful if you can use a natural light, but if you can't, see what you can do with what you have so it looks the best that it can. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the context. And also what I would say, just make sure if there is possibility there's going to be some noise, see if you can manage that.
And I think I'd like to touch on one more area there and just bring that back in, where you were talking about the content and what was around you, because a lot of our artists who were actually thinking about doing these workshops were actually doing a lot of them were going to be either painting or drawing, and we had some jewellery makers. And remember that you also said it's okay to also have some pre-recorded content in your workshops as well. And I think that was another really great tip that people sometimes worry about, Ivana, and I'd like us to sort of just expand on that slightly, is that, you may choose in that pre-content to maybe give them some exposure, or we have those share screen abilities. So maybe if we could just extend on that subject a little bit, I think that people would really appreciate that.
Yes, a very, very good point. Thank you for reminding us of this, Joe. Yes, Zoom has this amazing, I think the most of the interfaces have this possibility that you can share. You can even, you can share a video, you can share a painting, so you can prepare that in advance, that content, and then when the time is right during the workshop, you just click share screen, and then whatever is screen can show up. And I would even say, if you do have to make certain set of movements, like for example, if I do this, it doesn't necessarily look good on the camera in real time. But if you say, I'm going to share with you a video now of a drawing or a creation, whatever it is, and then you click on it, then everybody is expecting that video to play. So absolutely, yes, use that. And I think it also kind of brings the dynamic into the workshop, rather than just having you talking or somebody else talking all the time. Yeah, so that's a very, very good point. So just a lot of it, what we were saying, it's both connected with how you prepare, what you do just before you're starting, and then what you do during the meeting. I just want to go back to that last point, because we were talking about the content, the context, and then it's managing yourself. And what we were showing also, when somebody, somebody does barge into the room, that you're doing this. So I would suggest, and I would invite all of you, before half an hour, 15 minutes before you're starting, before you're going live, check in with yourself. Are you hungry? If you are, have something to eat. Maybe it's just a banana. Maybe it's something to give you energy. Are you thirsty? Just first cater to your basic needs, right? Because you need to be okay. What I would also suggest, have a glass of water before. And then I always have even more. I try and have 2 glasses of water, because I know I'm going to get thirsty, because you will be talking a lot and you will be engaging a lot. Also have a glass of water next to you, or a glass of warm tea or a coffee, whatever works for you, whatever you think you might need during the workshop. Good. So it's preparing yourself first, let's call it physiologically. Yes. And then there is also preparing yourself emotionally. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to assume here, but I think it might be spot on, that probably the emotions you're going to have is excitement, freaking out, worried, joyful that you are sharing. Finally, there's this gift that you have with the world, and those are all okay. It's okay to feel them. It is okay, and allow yourself. This is all life energy. This is all that you're bringing into the workshop. And do not calm yourself down, because you're not supposed to come and pretend, right? Use that energy for you. So once you do go live, you can go, welcome everyone. Wow, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, right? And I could just feel this energy. I hope you can feel it too. Bam, you're spot on. Just a summary. So it's managing the context, managing the content, and managing yourself. Right? Perfect. And now let's kind of fast forward, right? The live workshop has happened. And then you're at the end and you have finished it. What do you do afterwards? Great. First of all, just allow yourself a few minutes to be with whatever is going on. You're going to be exhausted after the first one, right? You're also going to be really happy. You might go into, oh my God, I forgot to say this. I forgot to say that. Oh, I talked too much. I did this or I did that. Trust me, none of that matters. What matters is that you have done your workshop. Well done. Congratulate yourself, Celebrate. Yes. Celebrate. Go and, brag to someone. I've just done my first workshop, right? Also, make sure that you send that email, or if you have a Facebook group together where you're going to say thank you everyone for participating, just have that little bit of follow-up. If you have given them an assignment to concentrate on if you're doing, let's say, 3-part series or 6-part series, just send again that email, share in the group and say, thank you very much for participating. This was so exciting. Thank you for sharing. This is your assignment. Yeah. And if there is something that you have told them, because this is going live, and after that it's an interactive workshop, use that space within the next 24 hours to help them embed that learning. Right. So maybe it's a summary, a few points. maybe this is the assignment that I have given you. Thank you very much. We'll see each other again in 2 days, in a week, whatever it is. Yeah. So this is again managing yourself and then managing the group.
And I think you did a wonderful job of framing the rules of the workshop at the beginning. And maybe could you just share with us just 2 or 3 of those rules now, so that we can sort of get a bit of an idea. We don't need to go too deep, but just a bit of an idea.
Yes, and the beautiful question, because that also brings us to the other part that we wanted to talk about, and that is, once you go live, how you start and how do you finish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way to start is always welcome, great to see you, whatever works for you. And then usually I tell them what we're going to talk about, either that workshop, or maybe if we have a 6-part series, or at the moment I'm doing the leadership development workshop that is 9 weeks long. So I'm saying we're going to be together for 9 weeks. This is the first one, or this is the second one. And before we start with the content today, right, I would like to pay attention to a few things, right? Yeah. So if you're recording the session, tell them you're recording. That is just a decency, because if you're recording and you don't tell them, it's actually just not the honest relationship you want to have, and usually people don't mind. And then tell them why you're recording it. Are you recording it just for yourself? Are you recording it because you're going to share it? Or are you recording it because maybe you're going to share it outside of that circle, which is again then a different, what do you call it, rules of engagement? I call it agreements that we have between each other, between everybody who's involved. And this is what I do. I always share those agreements. And in my case, usually they are confidentiality, coming with open eyes and open mind and open heart, so that the learning can happen. It can be the role about participation, please share. And I also have, just because I work with the personal and professional development, I usually always invite everyone to honor their boundaries. If we're talking about the creative work, I would say push your boundaries, be ready to share. This is a safe space. And then once you do have those agreements, I also always offer and say, is there any other agreement that we want to have? And just leave it for them. Is there another rule that you want to have? Is it when somebody is talking, everybody is listening? Is it I'm going to respond to questions at the end, or you can ask the questions whenever you want? So set it up. And I would also like to suggest that repeat that summary at the beginning of each workshop, if it is the series that you're just to remind people that this is what you have agreed upon. And then once that's done, you can just start and say, hey, today we're going to talk about, or today we're going to explore, or today we're going to create, and then dive into your content. Say if you're starting at 11 a.m., make sure that you connect 3 minutes before 11. So you are there. So as people are joining in, if you have 5 people joining in, it's easy. But if you have 20 people joining in, you need to give them space, and maybe they will recognize each other, and maybe they just want to get comfortable. So allow the 3 to 5 minutes, go live before the time, so that that you have agreed, so that everybody can join in, and then you're ready to dive in at the given time.
And our participants loved that too, didn't they?
Yeah, of course, yes. And then you can unmute them all, and there is this cacophony of sounds and noises and all of that, and it just brings that energy up, right? But then you go, let's start, and then you mute them all, and then you start. Yeah. So then that brings me to the finish on time.
Yes, honor your time. Absolutely.
You are not, if somebody maybe asks a question 30 seconds before you were supposed to finish, right? You can say, I understand that some of you need to go. I think this is a very valid question that I would like to answer. Are you okay to stay for 5 more minutes? Ask for the permission. And for people who need to leave, they will leave, and it's okay for them to leave. And then you can stay and share that answer, or just to continue the discussion. But I wouldn't extend for more than 5 minutes, because you want to honor your time, and you want to honor participants' time. Yeah. So that's about the finishing. So finish on time. Before 5 minutes before you're finishing, ask if there are any questions.
Right.
A few minutes before that, summarize what you've been through. Yeah. And just in between, repeat the weekly assignment if you're giving them the assignment, right? And finish with thank you.
So how about for the next few minutes, we'll touch on some of the technology that's out there that's available.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. So we're mostly talking about Zoom, and Zoom is not in any way supporting this video, just so you know. But it's such a beautiful tool that everybody is using at the moment. So we are focusing on that. Although I know that there are other interfaces that you can use. This is also my favorite, and in terms of technology, Zoom has such a wonderful customer experience, and there is lots of videos how to set up a meeting, how to invite the people, and it's really user friendly. What I would say is, first of all, do not be afraid of technology. Okay, you might think, and I do get that, oh, how do I connect and how do I do this? If you're not sure how it's going to work, and this I actually think came from I think there were a couple of participants that said, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get in touch with each other and we're going to organize the Zoom meetup just to see how technology works, right? So get a few of your friends or get, your family or whoever, get a few accounts that you have and say, hey, can we do a mock-up? Right? Can we do the trial just to see how am I going to invite you? What do I need to click? How do I record? How do I share the screen? These are all beautiful tools that Zoom allows you to do. There is also, when do I unmute? How do I mute? Do you want everybody to have the video, or is it okay for some people to just have the audio? It depends on what you're doing, it's up to you to decide. Then there is a chat. So one of the options that Zoom offers is, as you're going through the workshop, people can actually chat. They can chat between themselves, or they can chat with everyone. And one of my favorite pieces of technology that you can use is actually breakout rooms. So you can either manually or automatically break your big group. Let's say you have 20, 30 people who are joining your workshop. You can break them in 10 groups, 3 groups, whatever you want. Usually I put 2 to 4 people in a group, not more than that. And you can give them an assignment, then put them in breakout rooms. And that part is not going to get recorded. However, what you can do is you can join. So you can almost go into these virtual breakout rooms and join each group and see how they're doing. What you can also do, let's say that you're using this for a bit of brainstorming, you can go and manage the participants so that you change and you put, let's say, Mark and Susan are in one group and John and Gabby are in the other. So now I can change and put Gabby with Susan and Mark with John. And then I can join them. So it's really playful. And especially if you are creating a piece of art, or you just want them to spend time together sharing certain ideas, you can join them or not. I notice that people really like it when they have that little secret time, confidential time together, when they share, and then you can also manage the breakout rooms to send a certain message to them without joining them. And then when you stop it, after 60 seconds, everybody will have to come back into the main room. And it's so lovely to see their smiles and beautiful faces when they come back, because they love that connection. So I would definitely encourage you, when the content and the context allows and calls for that, to use that breakout rooms. In terms of setting up the meeting, recording the meeting, everything that you want to do, with your settings, please go into the customer support and look at all the videos and educational material that Zoom already has on their website. I think they're really, really good at that.
Perfect. That's brilliant. I was actually just envisaging then some of, you know, if it was a dance class and you wanted to put the 2 or 3 participants out because they were working on a particular routine together. I guess I was just thinking of that, you know, out loud. What was a, you know, what is an example
Love that.
what might work is, you know, or if it was a play that they were, you know, there's lots of different ideas of what you can do. But
the first question that I would have here is, what is professional to you? Because what's professional to me or to you might not be professional to somebody else. Yes. And I'm going to go back to that being authentic and showing up as you are. Yeah. So if you usually are this artist who is in casual, funky clothes, or you wear loads of colors, show up like that. Yeah. The professional doesn't mean a suit and a tie necessarily, right? So think about what is professional to you. Yeah. And then show up with that. I would like also to say that what's really professional, truly professional, is to prepare.
yes,
Prepare, prepare, prepare. Yeah. You know, the way that we are talking about this, it's about the flow, and it is about showing up as you are, and it's about being relaxed. And one thing that will ensure you're like that is if you prepare. Take time to prepare and show up, you know, in your true colors. They can be gray, they can be blue, they can be pink, whatever it is. Yeah, so prepare, show up in whatever is professional to you. And the maybe the third thing, not maybe, for sure, the third thing is, remember, you are here for them. You're not here to just share your content and that's it. You are here, and if you do want to make a workshop, you're not here to sound smart, to show how capable you are. You're all those things. You are here for your participants. So if they prefer to ask questions and you didn't plan for the time, allow for that time. Adjust. If they need to slow down, slow down. If they're asking, what else, take care of your content, and also be flexible to truly connect with the people on the other side of the screen. And in my case, very often it's on the other side of the world. And if you show up like that, then I guarantee you that it's going to be a success.
you can just, you know, I'm hoping, as we're sharing what we're talking about today, that I'd love, you know, it'd be lovely to know what our participants from those workshops are up to, actually. And we already know, because some of them are sharing what they're already doing as well. How you're going to market, and how you're going to get the information out into the community, into the public arena. I actually use those words, into the public arena, that you're actually doing these workshops. And so we talked around what are the platforms and what are the forums. And once again, there is amazing content already out there for you to learn about these things. But these are some of the ones that we touched on. So I'll touch on some of the first ones, and then you can pick up on the remainder. So we know that Facebook has a fantastic function for setting up an event. There's, once again, wonderful tutorials that are available through Facebook to tell us how to do that. But it is a relatively simplistic process. So you can set up your Facebook. People can book and register for their events through your Facebook, and you can also market, do a little bit of, there's some opportunities to do a little bit of paid advertising, and you can really target out your reach. So that's one of your forums. So you've got the Facebook ability. Instagram has some very similar functionality out there. LinkedIn also has very similar functionality. So all those social media platforms, I encourage you to go out there and look at those social media platforms.
Yes.
We
and
also,
if I might just add, with Facebook, they also have groups and pages, you know, so you can, so you can also, you can just start a group or you can start a page. I have my own professional page as a leadership coach, and that's where I share some of my content, that's where I share some articles, and that's where I share my events. In groups I usually use, if it's something, we might have a group, you know, if you're starting your workshop and the name of the workshop, create a group for it. You can have open group or closed group, sharing it, you know, what you're going to talk about, share your event, get people to engage. Maybe people will like what you're sharing. Those who are liking it might be your participants, you know. So there is that function on Facebook that definitely can be helpful. And to be fair, you know, I'm still learning about how to get better at marketing, all of that. And there is so much out there. And I would say, again, it can be overwhelming. And to start with, I would say, do not overcomplicate. Use what you have, you know. And I think we touched upon that at the beginning, which is use your friends, not use your friends. Let your friends support you.
Yeah, I love that.
Let your friends support you. Share your passion with them. Ask them courageously. Again, ask them, do you know anyone who would like to join in? You know, use the other networks that you have. Maybe you have your cultural network. Maybe you have your, you know, sports network or school network through your kids. You know, just look at what you have and utilize that before you start spending extra money or time on something that is actually quite a huge area. And I'm going to say this, and you know, Joe, you can elaborate on that. And I would say, utilize Joe. Joe has experience in marketing. And I know she loves doing that, right? She loves connecting people and reconnecting people and helping you get out there. She has done such a wonderful marketing job for these series that we have done.
And that's what we would, and thank you for that. It is one of my great, I guess, areas of influence, is connecting people, and I think it's something that I love being able to do. And I just reiterate what you just said then, is there look, this is the marketing of your workshops is an entire another workshop, but there is, it's and the other one that I also really love as well is video as well. Video is so powerful for, once you choose what your connection platform, that's probably the words I'm going to use, what platforms you're going to connect on. Video is also really powerful. But you're absolutely right, you know, just reach out in whatever manner you would like to reach out, and through across all the mediums, across email, across social media, or across face-to-face, across word of mouth, across all those gorgeous marketing terms that we all love. And remember, no idea is a bad idea. All ideas are good ideas, because you're starting out here. But also, if I can just touch back, a lot of you already have networks. You already have networks because you will have, a lot of people who are looking at making these pivots are already probably engaging with groups already. So, you know, that's your first area, is to start out with those groups that you're already engaging with. And then, you know, one person tells 10 people, 10 people tell 20 people, etc., etc., etc. That whole power of word of mouth growth.
So here's my summary, my message to you. You know, be courageous and be authentic. Show your uniqueness to the world, and it will respond. Prepare well. You already know your content. Embrace technology, and trust me, even once we are ready to meet again and communicate face to face and hug each other and share. In this way, this is a possibility to share your talent also outside of your community, right? And it is, people like to work from the coziness and safety of their own homes. So this is not just for now, this is not just for COVID. And I do have a feeling you're all going to fall in love with this kind of doing workshops, and maybe you can then, you know, mix it up. Some might be in person and some might be face to face. Yeah, so embrace technology, show your uniqueness, be courageous, be authentic, and imagine if you're doing this the way that you want to do it, like nobody else is doing it before you or after you. This is about you sharing your creative talent with your community, and community is waiting. Yeah, so I think that's just a message from me to close it off. And I don't know, Joe, maybe you want to add something to that.
I can't add anything to that. That was absolutely magnificent. That was a wonderful overview of what we have A, discussed today, but B, what we delivered in that workshop.
Yes.
And so I think before we close off today, just to remind you of where this came from and how you've ended up with myself, Joe, and with Ivana in front of you, is I encourage you to go to the Three Lakes Cultural website, which is www.threelakesculturaltrust.co.nz. Reach out, get in touch with us, and you know, we are your engine to connect through the arts and cultural community. We went live, the Three Lakes Cultural Trust went live, because we've been talking about that. We launched on the 28th of February this year. This is a very new organisation, and I'm not going to tell you, this is not what this is about, is sharing more about the organisation, but we are here to advocate, support and connect with the arts and cultural community. And I'm just going to hand back over to Ivana so that she can provide you with her contact details, because we are here to share with you.
Yes, yes. Thanks, Joe. And first of all, I just want to say it was truly a pleasure to be asked to do this. And it was such a privilege to get to meet everyone who showed up. So everyone, to all the participants, if you're watching, I'm so excited for you and can't wait to see everything you're going to share. And I also can't wait to share it with my group of friends. So please do put those events up. And as I already said at the beginning, I actually do work as international leadership coach. And if anybody needs support in terms of getting better at leading yourself, and also your team and your organization, I'm here. Please do reach out. It's www.bigheartedleaders.com. And thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Ivana. And to those who are watching, we look forward to seeing you next time.